Welcome to this edition of Chelmsford High School's Lions Pride. I'm Steve Murray, principal of Chelmsford High School. Each month we celebrate 2 seniors from each house. We recognize these students for their academic success as well as their countless activities and programs that these students participate in that make Chelmsford High School one of the best high schools in the state. This recognition and show would not be possible without the generosity and support of the Chelmsford Rotary Club. They have sponsored this program for over 30 years. So without further ado, let's meet our deans and our students of the month. I'd like to introduce Dean McNeil, the Dean of Emerson House, to introduce her students of the month.
Our first student of the month for January is Neel Verma. Neel, I'm so glad to have you here. Quick question for you. You've done so much, right? You've done track and cross country. Out of all the sports you've participated in, which one's your favorite?
That's a really hard question. I mean, over my 4 years, it's sort of been like an ebb and flow kind of thing. So one season has been great, another one might not be so good. But I'd say my best memories would probably be outdoor track. You know, it's nice and warm outside, you get to run, and you go to all these cool schools that you might not be able to see if you hadn't done it.
So you're saying you just like to run for fun?
Yes, in circles.
If I run, you run too because somebody's chasing me. So you like to run for fun.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So what are your plans for next year?
Well, right now I'm looking at doing neuroscience in school, but outside of that, I think I will absolutely continue running, whether it be for a team or just personally. There are a couple of schools that are interested in me, and you know, if everything goes all right, maybe I'll run.
What is it about neuroscience that interests you?
So I saw a TED Talk this summer, and this guy and his team, he managed to basically translate sound into sort of vibrations that you can feel, almost like Braille, where people can, you know, read and understand it. So people who are like hard of hearing or deaf, they can actually understand words through the response. And over time, their brains actually started to become accustomed to that. And then they could understand things without hearing aids. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And
That's
I
so
mean,
cool.
I would love to be a part of research like that.
I had a good question in my head, and it's gone because I was listening to you. If you can go back to freshman, Neel, what advice would you give yourself?
Probably, I would say, take things a little easier. You know, I think that a lot of people find that once you go into high school, you have to be on top of everything. And, you know, it does have an effect. Once you come to senior year, you're like, oh, maybe I could have done a little better freshman year. But in the end, it doesn't really matter so much. What really matters is that you haven't, you know, gone so hard freshman year that you've burnt out by the time you're a senior.
That's good. That's good.
That is excellent. Thinking of all the classes you took here, is any one class that stood out, and if so, why?
Absolutely. Last year, it had to be AP Chemistry.
Wow.
You know, it's an incredibly difficult course, but it was so rewarding. You know, we learned a lot, and we managed, at the end of the year, we managed to build model rockets, and that was like the coolest thing ever. Because, you know, you spend all this year doing stuff on paper, you don't really think about the fact that this is all real, and then you put it together, and then, oh my gosh, chemistry is actually something you do.
Yeah, the application of it.
That's pretty cool. If you could think past your 4 years here, is there any staff member or adult that's kind of made a lasting impression of you?
There's a few. I have to give credit to Mrs. McManus, of course. She's just unbelievably dedicated to actually helping her students understand.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
But also Miss Sullivan, she is just an unbelievable level of candor, and just she's so committed to being on level with the student. She never acts like she's above at once.
Great. I heard she has great class discussions. People really enjoy that.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, our time is up, believe it or not. So on behalf of the Chelmsford High administration and the Rotary Club, which sponsors this program, I want to say congratulations on being one of Emerson's Students of the Month.
Thank you. Congrats.
I'd like to turn it back to Dean McNeil to introduce the second Student of the Month from Emerson.
Emerson's second Student of the Month for January is Dean Allen. Dean, we're so proud of you. Thank you for being here with us.
For having me.
Thinking back to, I'm trying to think of like a unique question here, but I don't have any right now. But thinking back to freshman Dean, right? You've done so much. I'm looking at this. You've done 7 APs, 7 honors. Thinking back to freshman Dean, would you give yourself any advice?
I think the junior year AP Physics, AP Chemistry combo was a bad decision looking back on it. I think I'd split those up. I mean, I enjoyed taking the classes, but it was just too much workload.
That's a good advice.
When you were talking at the Student of the Month breakfast, you talked about doing international relations, perhaps, or chemistry. What would be the deciding factor, and what's your interest in either, in both?
Well, I applied to different schools for different things, obviously, so it depends on where I get into. It's kind of like, I don't know, hedging my bets, I guess.
Yeah.
I like them both equally, so it's just going to come down to that. If I get admitted to everywhere I want to go, I'm not sure what I'd want to do.
What interests you about international relations?
I love history, and I think this would be a good way to like apply it, and it'd be a good way to like serve the country without necessarily going into the military.
For you?
That's great. So you like to run,
Yes.
and you're captain this year. What is it about running and the sports? You do cross country and track, correct?
Yes.
What is it about running that excites you?
I think it's just like the social aspect. I've met so many great friends through running. The racing part is obviously painful, but I mean, you work for it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a lifelong skill.
You do your community service for running?
Yes.
Okay, so you like to run?
Yes.
Okay.
What is something you're looking forward to next year about college life?
Definitely a lot more freedom. I think the ability to sleep in a little later will always be nice as well. Yeah, and I think I'll keep running in college as well. So should be fun.
For the school, as a club sport or intramural?
Haven't decided yet, but definitely at least club. So meet some new friends.
I did that at URI. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. For you?
I'm trying to think. Is there anything next year, you know, when you get into college, I know you're thinking about running and you're not sure what you're going to do, but is there any other collegiate clubs you want to join that you maybe, you know, didn't get a chance to do in high school?
I think a lot of the schools I've applied to, they have like outdoor clubs where they go on like trips to do like hikes and like bonding activities. I think that'll be really fun because one of my big hobbies is hiking as well.
You talked about the two classes back to back. It was tough. What is one class here in the last 4 years that said, hey, I'm glad I took that and everyone else should as well?
Probably AP US History. It's a lot of fun. I think if you really like it, it's good. It just like helps you have a better understanding of the world and everything about it.
What topic in there was the most intriguing?
I like the battles, like the Civil War and Vietnam and all that. I like that stuff.
If you look back at all your time here, I asked Neel the same question. Is there any staff member that has made a lasting impression on your time here?
I think Miss Marshall, I had her for Algebra 2 sophomore year, and she's been my plus block teacher all 4 years. So it's just like a good place to go every day. I always was excited to go to that class.
Well, our time is up. So on behalf of the Chelmsford High Administration and the Rotary Club, which sponsors this program, we say congratulations on being one of Emerson's Students of the Month.
Thank you very much.
We're proud of you.
Congrats.
Congrats. I'd like to introduce Dean Blagg, the Dean of Hawthorne House, to introduce his Students of the Month.
Thanks, Principal Murray. I'm really excited to introduce Jack Dorsey as one of our Students of the Month. Jack is an outstanding kid. He really challenges himself in the classroom, takes a lot of high-level courses. He's a member of our National Honor Society and our National English Honor Society. On top of that, he's really, really invested in our school. He's been part of the CHS Pit Orchestra, the jazz band, the class representatives, Give Club, and he's been a freshman mentor for the last couple of years. On top of that, you might notice his hair is a little dyed. He's captain of the boys swim team who did that as a big way to get psyched up for their big meet. It wasn't the chlorine. It wasn't that bad. But he's just an awesome. He's captain of the swim team, and he's led the team to a great season. And looking forward to finishing it off strong. Overall, Jack's just a great kid, and he's made a great contribution to Chelmsford High.
You've done so much here, both athletically and outside of school in terms of clubs and activities. Thinking about all your experiences and things you've done here, how is that going to inform what you're going to do next year?
I'm really excited about the whole college experience, and I think that CHS has really helped me create goals for myself and achieve those goals too. A lot of the skills I learned here are skills that can be applied to college. Just time management, something as simple as that. Even leadership with the whole swim team, being captain. It's just great skills that you can learn here and they apply.
Well, what do you see yourself doing when you go to college? Because you're involved in so much, both academically and not outside of schools. Anything you'll be saying, I'm going to do this at my new school?
So I'm really interested in computers, technology, software, stuff like that. So I think that, I'm in a programming class right now and computer science. It just really interests me as a subject, so I want to learn more about that and hopefully major in it.
You mentioned being captain of the swim team. Being a captain's it's a huge responsibility. What have you found most rewarding about being a captain? What have you found most challenging?
Some of the challenges just come with helping the new kids get accustomed to being on the team. It can be really nerve-wracking on a team like that. In a new location, it's off campus, obviously, at the Lowell Y, and just getting them accustomed to the water and stuff like that. But one of the biggest rewards is after, say, we win a meet, everyone's just so excited. We'll go eat a team dinner, and just the team morale is through the roof. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great group of guys.
Yeah. Thinking of the 4 years, almost 4 years that you've been here, are there any adults in school or outside of school that you say, hey, they really helped me through this, and I've been successful because of it?
Mr. Vitale definitely as a swim coach, and it was just a given. I've known him for a while, and he's been great just as not only a mentor but a peer that I can go to for advice, anything with schoolwork or swim team athletics. And then also Mr. Bartos, just a fantastic. When you enter his classroom, you know he wants to teach. He's always got a positive attitude, always really wants to mentor people. Stuff like that.
Amazing.
That's awesome. So, looking back on your 4 years, what's the one thing that you're most proud of in your 4 years here? I know it's kind of a tough question, but looking back on that experience, you've accomplished a great deal. But what are you most proud of?
I'm definitely most proud of just being, I guess, my social development, if anything else. I feel like by joining a lot of clubs and meeting a lot of new people, I feel like my social skills have just improved, and it's such a great thing to be able to communicate and be on a team with people. It's something that CHS has taught me so well, and I'm really glad that I learned it. So.
Yeah, good for you.
That's great. We're glad you've been here. So with that, I want to say congratulations. Our time is up. Congratulations on behalf of the CHS administration and the Rotary Club, which sponsors this program. Wish you the best of luck in the remainder of this year.
Yeah, really proud of you, Jack.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Now I'll turn it back to Dean Blagg to introduce the second Student of the Month.
Yeah, Hawthorne House is really proud to introduce Leah Bosch as our other Student of the Month. Leah is a tremendous student. She really has challenged herself throughout her time here. She's taken a multitude of AP classes at the highest level that we offer, and not only has she done that, but she's excelled at taking them, and she's actually been awarded the distinction of an AP Scholar with distinction because she aces those AP tests as well, which is pretty impressive. Beyond that, she loves to learn, and I think that's why she does so well in school. Outside of the classroom, she's super involved in a lot of service-based clubs. The Rotary sponsored Interact Club, Lime, Leaders in Motion Everywhere, Care Cards Club. She's a vice president of that. She's part of our freshman mentor program, and she was a 4-year member of our volleyball program here at Chelmsford High, where they had a great season and really improved a lot. So you name it, Leah does it, and when she does it with all her energy and passion, and because of that, things are much better for it. She's just a great kid. She's looking to maybe go on to law school in the future, maybe study business undergrad. She's still deciding that, but wherever she goes, she's going to be a great success.
So what are the schools you're looking at next year, and what do you think are the reasons to go to their school, the one you're choosing, that is?
So for now, my top are definitely McGill and UMass Amherst. I mean, UMass Amherst is like an amazing state school, and I know a lot of my friends are gonna go. And McGill because my brother's going, great. And they're also it's a really
beautiful.
Great school, and the campus and the city is also very pretty. So.
Sure is. You're involved in a lot of service-based clubs, so you dedicate yourself to improving the lives of other people. Which of these experiences has been the most meaningful to you? Which of these different clubs, or maybe even one event that really impacted you?
For me, I would say working at food pantries, because I've worked at two for quite a while now, and I can say that the customers that come in, they really change how you see life. Because everyone is just so amazing, and everyone is just so kind, and it makes you want to become a better person because of who they are.
Good for you.
And so thinking about that, and thinking about your experiences and the impact it had, what would you say to next year's incoming freshmen about high school life and what you've learned?
I would say to do as much as you can. Don't be afraid to do something that you don't think that you're gonna something that you wouldn't expect, because coming into high school, I didn't know I was going to do volleyball for 4 years, and I loved it. And I didn't know I was going to do these like volunteer clubs, and I loved it. So just do anything and everything and figure out what you like.
That's great. You know, you've excelled in a lot of different areas, and you mentioned volleyball. You know, athletics is very different than excelling in the classroom or in a service club. What lessons has, you know, being an athlete taught you and helped you grow? Because there is something to be learned from being an athlete, a student athlete.
Well, it's definitely changed my high school career a lot, because I learned so much being on the team. You become like your own little family being on a sports team, and you learn how to encourage each other, because sometimes you win some and you lose some, but you always try your best and you try to encourage everyone else on the team. And overall, it's a lot of fun.
It sure is, yeah. You guys had a great season.
Very, very much so. Well, our time is up. So on behalf of the Chelmsford High administration and the Rotary Club, which sponsors the program, I want to say congratulations on being one of Hawthorne's Students of the Month. Now I'd like to introduce Dean McIsaac, I almost said McNeil, Dean McIsaac from Whittier House to introduce his Students of the Month.
Thank you, Principal Murray. Our first student of the month is Madison Connors. Madison is currently enrolled in AP Psychology, American History through Film, Intro to Statistics, Forensic Science, Reality Check, Senior Odyssey, and Concert Choir. Madison has been a member of the Theater Guild, and most recently she was Paulette in Legally Blonde in the fall musical, which was rave reviews. Yeah. Many said it was one of the best performances they've seen in the pack. She's a member of the Mentor program, this year serving on the Mentor board. She's also done some work with the a cappella groups. Madison, outside of CHS, enjoys singing, playing the ukulele, which is impressive, cards, collecting squishmallows, which are very popular amongst our youth here at the high school, and then also being a barista at Starbucks. Next year, Madison plans to study psychology in hopes to eventually own her own private practice and maybe make some headway in the research field. Welcome, Madison.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let's start with Legally Blonde. Okay, walk us through that process. Obviously, you were Paulette. Everything was, wonderful. Kind of, how'd you land there, and what made it such a good experience?
Yes. I think it's always funny. Everything I do is like super last minute, which is hilarious to me. So of course this was the same. It was, I think, the day of auditions. I initially was like, I'm not gonna do it. It'll be fine, and I'll just watch the show when it comes out. And then they extended the auditions an extra day, and I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? So I went in and I had to learn like one of her songs, like super last minute, try to just like figure out what was going on. I made it work though, and it was good. Did my audition, got to meet some of the people, and the environment was really nice. And I was like, I remember doing this in my freshman year. And so we went out to Chili's like the same night and just kind of like relaxed, talked about things, and then the cast list came out, and it was like the most exciting moment. I was, I didn't know anything about the musical either or the movie because I'm terrible. I hadn't seen it yet, but I mean, when I got home, I checked it out and I was like, oh my gosh, I relate so much to this character. And my mom's a hairdresser too, so it was kind of funny to have those parallels with her character and my mom. And I was so happy to be able to play her, and everyone's like, oh, you just like embody her so well. And so to be able to have that opportunity was amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Kind of walk us through some other stuff like the mentor program, being on the mentor board, the a cappella groups, like your experience with that stuff.
Of course. Mentor board has been amazing. I got to be a mentor my junior year, I want to say. I think that's how it works because I was a sophomore. But yeah, my junior year, and then luckily I got to be on the mentor board this year, which is amazing. I think it's a really good program you guys that we have here, because it gives so many good opportunities to freshmen so they can like actually understand where they're going and like what the school is, and just having the opportunity to be here before they actually have to like figure things out on their own. Just it's a good way to it's like a little warning of like, hey, here's what's going on, or like just a little initial, I don't really know how to word it, but
I get you.
You get my drift.
We know what you're talking about.
And then as far as a cappella groups go, I unfortunately haven't done them too much recently, but I was I did work where I would sub for people. So if someone was sick or someone couldn't make it to a gig, they would reach out, I would learn the music and just kind of fill in for them. I think the groups are definitely really fun. A lot of people enjoy them, and it's definitely like a very competitive thing. Not in a bad way, but like if you like competition and you like putting in the work to get something out of it, I think that's one of the things I hear a lot about the a cappella groups is that. So that's who I would recommend it to.
Love it.
Well, believe it or not, our time is up. The 5 minutes went by really quick. I know.
Quick way.
It's great. So on behalf of the Chelmsford High Administration and the Rotary Club, which sponsors this program, congratulations on being one of Whittier's Students of the Month. Really proud of you. Now I'll turn it back to Dean McGeisig again to introduce the second Student of the Month from Whittier.
Thank you, Principal Murray. Our second student of the month is Bennett Prees. Bennett is currently enrolled in AP Calculus AB, AP Physics C, AP PLTW Computer Science Principles, AP Psychology, Senior Honesty Dual Enrollment, and E-Commerce Marketing. Bennett is a member of the National Honor Society. He's also been recognized as a National Merit Commended Student for his work in the PSATs. He's also been awarded with the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship and the Koplik Certificate of Mastery of Distinction for also his work with standardized testing with the MCAS and with AP exams. So congrats. It's quite an honor. We don't have a lot of those students here. Outside of that, at the high school, he's been a 4-year member of the swim and dive team. He's a diver for the high school who has their MVC championships coming up this week. Member of the varsity volleyball team. He's been on the track team, cross country team, member of Lyme, the Give Club, and also works with the mentor program. Outside of CHS, Bennett stays busy with music, cars, and longboarding. He's done some work at Kimball Farms and at the local Market Basket. Next year, Bennett plans to attend a 4-year college and pursue a degree in mechanical engineering and hopefully go back for a master's degree once employed. Welcome, Bennett. Congrats. So your accomplishments in the classroom are almost second to none. You're in a very small percentage of students in the state, in the nation that gets these honors. I guess what has led to your success in the classroom and obviously in all the standardized testing and things that we've done here at the high school?
I really don't know what to say for this because I feel like I don't put any more work in than like the average student. I think my parents have been really laid back with me, letting me do my own stuff and learn how I want to learn. And I think it just comes from my dad being an engineer, so he can always step in if I need help. I think he's helped me a lot with that.
That's great. The other day at the breakfast, one of your lines in your speech is like, learning should be fun. And hopefully CHS has, granted you an opportunity to have fun while learning. Obviously your accomplishments are crazy. Over your course of time here, what I guess is the most difficult class and most enjoyable class?
Most difficult, I think last year was AP Physics with Miss Hubbard.
Yeah.
It's always a hard class.
Yeah.
I've always heard it's been a hard class, and I wanted to take it.
Good.
But at the same time, it was also probably one of my most enjoyable classes because I met some great friends.
Good.
And everybody in there has a hard-working mentality.
Yeah.
But also there's time for fun and
Yeah.
doing things your own way.
It was so tough. You want to go back again this year? For AP Physics C? Good.
Yeah.
No, we've heard great things about the class. Outside of school, obviously with the swim and dive team, in season right now, the hairdo, we know that, with the kids walking around the hall and the swim team. Kind of talk us about your 4-year mission with them and kind of how things have landed here in your last year.
Yeah. I joined Russell Mill, the club, in the summer. I think when I was 13. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the pool with my friends, and I signed up for the dive team. I got sucked in. Mr. Vitale, the coach, was like, "Hey, you gonna dive in high school?" And I'm like, "I guess so, yeah." I've been here since.
The man.
Stuck.
Exactly.
And as you just told us, there's only 7 divers in the whole MVC, 5 of which are from Chelmsford.
Yep.
Which is a credit to the program, the coaching, and the kids who continue to foster that environment of getting people to come out and do it. So good for you. What do you think about the MVCs? We're gonna take down the championship on Thursday?
I think it's gonna be really close.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's the team that you're
April's pretty good this
April
year.
is.
They haven't won since I think the 70s.
Oh, really?
But this year they beat Andover, who usually wins. And
Okay.
they're pretty good, and they beat us in the regular season. So
All right.
Oh.
we'll see how it goes.
Good for them. Volleyball, you going to do it in the spring?
Of course.
Yes? You looking forward to the spring season? It's usually a pretty enjoyable group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you look forward to the most with volleyball?
I think I just fell in love with the sport. It's really fun to I don't know. I feel like it's really accustomed to me because I'm tall and I can jump high.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I wish I started it earlier.
Yeah.
Instead of just last year.
Yeah.
But
It's good. It's a good group. A ton of fun. It's
Team's
always
great,
fun to see the games. Next year, mechanical engineering. It kind of sounds like Dad may have had something to do with that. What is Dad? What's his role now in engineering?
He works at a company. He makes optical lenses for infrared cameras.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that forever. The company switched up a couple times, but I went with him to the career day, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Career
job shadow day.
Job shadow day. That's the one.
Yeah.
And I really liked what he did. It was fun.
Awesome. Do you have any like goals in mechanical engineering, or just kind of get in there and kind of
Just
go from there?
Explore, really.
Yeah.
I don't really know what.
Yeah. But there's
It's
so many things.
versatile. There's so many
Yes.
things you could do.
Good. Hoping to stay local for school next year, or go a little further, or wherever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wherever is the best option, really. I think I applied to 10 schools. So.
Yeah.
Good.
We could always use substitute teachers.
Yeah.
Good. So think about that.
In physics.
Exactly. Well, our time is up. So I want to say on behalf of the Chelmsford High Administration and the Rotary Club which sponsors this program, congratulations on being one of Whittier Students of the Month. Really proud of you.
Thank you.
Congrats, Bennett.
This concludes our latest edition of Lions Pride. I want to thank our deans for their thoughtful words and beautiful summaries of each recipient. I would also like to thank the Chelmsford Rotary Club for their unending support of this great program. Lastly, congratulations to all of this month's Students of the Month. On behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary and the deans, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.